or if you are watching this recording later, hello, whatever time it is for you. Right now for the live stream for today, it is Friday, May 23rd. And that means, lunarly speaking, that the moon is in the last quarter. So it's almost waning crescent, right? So there's still kind of an oblong shape to it. It's on its way to a new moon, and it is also in the sign of Aries. And we have practiced some Aries yoga before on our moon flow days. Because I am broadcasting from our Center City location, full disclosure, I forgot my, hi Jay, and whoever else is joining this morning, since my YouTube numbers are never reliable. It actually says there's nobody joining me right now. I don't think that's true though. I think you're here with me, so thanks for that. So let's talk a little bit about the sign of Aries. The moon right now is in Aries, which means that when it's coming up on our horizon, it's rising into the sign of Aries. And Aries is the beginning of the zodiac cycle. And Aries is a fire sign. Now, I forgot my moon journal book, so I'm not going to be able to read to you from that, but from my memory, I just want to share a little bit about the Aries lore. So Aries is the ram, and it is the sign of the herald of spring. It's also cardinal fire. It's a fire sign, and it's cardinal fire. And cardinal fire means that it is initiative energy. It is the energy to get things going. But what do we do with that energy, that cardinal initiating energy, when the moon is waning, which is typically the time in the lunar lore, which is a good time for like winding things down and sharing your findings. So I invite you to consider how you can bring that sense of energy, that Aries energy, into the projects that you're working on, whether that is a physical project or a mental or emotional project, and how you can bring that kind of starting energy to wrapping things up. Maybe that's a new little burst of energy, a second wind, if you will. Aries for the body, the lunar lore for Aries in the body rules the brain, the face, and the eyes specifically. So for our starting breath technique this morning, I'm going to show you a variation of Brahmari breathing. And this is a breath technique that helps us to focus all of our energy to the inside. Now, some Brahmari breathing uses some very specific things of using the fingers to cover the eyes and then curling the other fingers down on the face. For this particular bumblebee breath or humming breath, or if you like to make the sound of Om, you can do that. We're just going to do a few rounds of that together. What we're going to do is creating that fire in the hand, rubbing hands together, get them a little bit warmer. And then we're going to use the hands to just cover the whole face, to cover the forehead and the eyes. And then we're just going to hum. If you like to make the sound of Om instead, feel free to Om. I'm going to hum myself this morning. We're just going to do 3 rounds, right? So 3 inhales and then 3 hums, and then we'll get started with our moon flow. So bring your hands over your eyes, cover your face. Option to close your eyes if you like, and then breathe in and then hum for the exhale. And release the hands. All right, I'm going to go step back to my mat. Remember that for a moon salutation flow, we face the long edge of the mat. So stand in the center of your mat. And then bring your arms all the way up overhead. Join your fingers and go into Kali Mudra. So pointing the index fingers and then wrap one thumb over the other. Tiny bend in the knees. Use your exhale to pull the belly to the spine. And then inhale and reach your fingertips up. On your exhale, lean this way. Inhale, reach to the center. And then lean the other way. Inhale, center. And then on your exhale, step the feet out nice and wide. Come into star pose. We're going to do 3 rounds of star, goddess squat, add lion's breath. Inhale, star. And now we're going to head into warrior 2, facing this direction. So shift your feet so that this foot, whichever foot this is for you, faces the short edge. This foot faces the long edge. Yep. And then make whatever adjustments you need to feel nice and solid in this foundation. And then the arms reach out. See if you can let your shoulders relax. And then shift your gaze so that you're looking at your fingers over your bent knee. Warrior 2, huge breath in, stay for the exhale. Reach forward. Reverse warrior, exalted warrior. Extended side angle. Option to take prana mudra here, folding your thumb over your last 2 fingers and then pointing your first 2 fingers, stretching yourself as far away from your foot as you can get. Top fingers pulling away from the foot. Lots of length through the side body here. Take a huge breath in. And on your exhale, open this out to triangle. And now we're going to fold downwards and step this back foot up, pyramid pose. Take your time. You have no rush here. You want both feet to face the short edge of the mat and step your feet to the edges of the mat. So this is a really wide stance and a short stride. Now once you're here, really let your head drop. Let your head get as close to the earth as it can possibly get here. Let your whole torso dangle over your legs. Your knees can be bent or straight, does not matter. That nice little calf stretch happens either way. And now we're going to step the back foot back even farther into a lunge. You step it back as far as you want. And option to remain folded over. Any variation or height of a lunge that you want. So if you want low lunge today, bring your back leg to the earth, untuck the toes. Or if you want, keep the back toes on the earth, heel lifted, and stand all the way up, or anything in between here. Also an option to go through several different variations of lunge. We're going to be here for a good 6 or 8 breaths. And then lower your back leg all the way down, untuck the toes, and let's move into lizard pose. Bring your shoulder inside your front knee, and then take this where you want. Stay high or fold low. Lizard pose, 4 or 5 breaths. Tuck your back toes, lift your back leg, and we're gonna pivot into side lunge, AKA warrior four, AKA Skandasana. Some options here, pulling these toes back towards the body, or maybe pointing and flexing these toes, or rolling your foot around the ankle. Two more breaths, side lunge. All right, let's pull it in for yogi squat. One more breath, breathe in, sigh it away, and shift, warrior four, other side. And then, if you want, pointing and flexing the toes of your long foot, maybe roll the foot around the ankle. Let's pivot. Move into lizard pose on this side. Take your time. Then untuck your toes rather, and come into whichever variation of a lunge or series of lunges. Next up, we're going to move into pyramid pose. We'll take a few hops up with that back foot, and then drop in. Pay a little extra attention to the back of the body, the heels, the calves, the inside of the knees, the backs of the thighs. See if you can let your next exhale get your head closer to the earth. All right, we're going to open this back up now. So step your back foot back and pivot it open, creating triangle for the other side of the body. Extended side angle. Bend that knee, resting the elbow on the knee, and then if you like, Prana Mudra, and reach your top hand up and over, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Windmill the arms, reverse warrior, exalted warrior. Warrior two. And shift to star pose. We're going to do 3 rounds again of star and goddess. Add lion's breath if you need it. Wide-legged forward fold. And now that you're here, feel free to check out what I'm going to do here, which is the basis for tripod headstand. So since Aries is all about the head, bringing it in the face, I'm going to demonstrate tripod headstand. So when we're in a wide-legged forward fold, we want to bend the knees enough so that our elbows and inner knees contact each other, and then wiggle yourself down. Now this is totally optional. And then very gently allow the very crown of the head to rest on the earth. Now if this is lower than you can get your head, you can always bring in a book or a block, and you can put it on any height that you like to put on the crown of the head. So feel free to start with the highest level. If you got a nice hardback book, you can do this with a book. Maybe the lower setting for the block. And when we go into tripod headstand, if you're feeling adventurous and you want to kick your feet up, sure. But the intention today is just to think about pressing the head, the crown of the head, very gently into the block or the earth. And a lot of the support that we're giving this shape comes from the bent knees and the elbows, right? So you're stacking the bones on top of each other so that your support is in the hands and the feet. And so you can very gently rest the crown of the head on your support, whether that is a block or the earth. And then of course, all of that is optional. So if you just want to hang out in a wide-legged forward fold, do that. All right, my darlings, let's come down to the earth for Simhasana. Bringing the toes together, knees apart. Come on down. Hello. Hello, my internet yogis. I'm glad you're still here. And my in-person yogis, I'm glad you're still here. All right, let's do some lion's breath and then do a handful of floor stretches and then yay for yoga nidra. Ready? Let's go. 30 seconds. Time for one more. Awesome sauce. Come on around. Bring yourself into butterfly. And then stretch this leg out and bring this foot to the inside of the thigh. And then turn toward your leg, fold over. then from here, we'll create lateral stretch. So open up the front of the body, reach your arm across the leg, and then just like we did an extended side angle, bring your top arm up and over, 2 breaths. And then sit up, and we'll do Marichi twist, bringing your bent knee up, bring the foot to the opposite side of your leg. Yep, y'all know this, twist and breathe. Untwist, and let's come into butterfly briefly, just to center everything, and then we'll do Marichi twist for the other side. Lengthen this leg out, and bring foot up and over, and turn in towards your bent leg, twist and breathe. Lateral stretch. Oh. I can definitely feel that I have ridden the bus every day this week. And now Janushirshasana, for the yogic language, also known as half butterfly, seated tree, seated single leg forward fold, whatever vocabulary you want for this, fold over, breathe deeply. And then come on up. And me, I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna talk about Yoga Nidra while you get yourself settled. So I invite you in this moment to bring your body to whatever resting shape you need. Don't skimp, there's plenty of time. We build this into the practice so that you get to take all of the benefits of the first part, which I call the moon flow. And it is specifically one of the variations of a movement sequence that celebrates the lunar cycles and is also doubling as the preparation for Yoga Nidra. So all yoga asana, the movement practice, is intended for us to then prepare the body for a meditative state. So you've already done that work with all of the stretching that you did. So from here, it's a matter of getting fully comfortable. A couple of weeks ago, I posted an article about how Yoga Nidra saved my sanity. And it really did in a lot of ways, and is one of the reasons why I teach it twice a week on Mondays and Fridays. So I'm very glad that you are here, and I'm very glad that I have the opportunity to share the beauties of this practice with you. Are you settled? Awesome. Now I invite you, once you're settled, to really notice if you're fully settled. Is there anything under your body that needs adjustment? Blanket or clothing? Go ahead and make that happen. Notice if your clothing needs any kind of adjustment, or if there's anything else that needs your attention. Is your phone turned off? Are you warm enough? Are you hydrated? And if any of those things hasn't been addressed, then go ahead and address them, and then settle and be still. And the intention in Yoga Nidra is waking awareness in rest. But if you fall asleep, that is okay. That means the body needed that rest. So do that. Good. Settle a little deeper, find the next level of comfort, and then begin noticing the action of your breath. I invite you to really focus on the mechanical details of the breath, noticing the breath that comes in through the nostrils. And then as it travels over the roof of the mouth and down through the throat and the lungs, and then out again. With the moon in Aries and Aries ruling the head and the face, keeping your awareness on this upper part of the breath in the nostrils and behind the nostrils and the throat. Notice the temperature change from the inhale to the exhale. Notice the speed of the breath, or perhaps even better, the lack of speed in the breath. Allow the breath to be gentler with each exhale and smoother. See if you can make a continuous loop of the breath, eliminating the pause between the inhale and the exhale. Letting them flow directly into one another, the inhale and the exhale. Now shift your focus from the breath in the head and the throat to the breath in the whole body. Noticing the rise and fall of the ribs and the belly on the breath in and out. And from there, see if you can notice the whole body being oxygenated, every single cell and every single tissue of the body on the inhale. Suffused with all of the oxygen and nitrogen and all of the other necessary gases in the air that we breathe, getting everywhere all at once as you breathe in. And then the other side of that process, the exhale, the body having processed everything it needs, and then expelling the rest out through the nostrils. And that completing a cycle of thriving and nourishment. Each breath, nurture and nutrition. And now I invite you to notice your whole body at rest, from your heels all the way to the crown of the head. Notice the back of the body. And notice whatever is in contact with the back of the body. Perhaps your heels in contact with something, but the ankles curving away, and nothing but air and perhaps fabric touching the backs of the ankles. Notice the calves in contact with fabric, mat material, blanket, or earth. Notice the rest of the backs of the legs and the buttocks in contact. Notice the low back. Is there space under your low back, or is there support? There is no right or wrong. There is simply the back of the body in contact with whatever it touches. The middle back, the back of the rib cage, the upper back, the shoulder blades. Notice the backs of the arms, the backs of the hands, the forearms, the elbows, the backs of the upper arms, the tops of the shoulders, the back of the neck, the back of the head. Notice the entire back of the body resting on whatever you're resting on. The whole back of the body, from the back of the head to the heels. The back of the body, the back of the body. Now be aware of the crown of the head, the very top of the head. Notice the whole head, The face, the ears, the nose, the lips, the eyes, the cheeks, the jaw and the chin, the throat, the neck. Notice the whole head. Notice whatever is contacting your head. If you have your eyes closed, what do you see on the backs of your eyelids? If your eyes are open, what are you gazing at? What do you notice on your inhale? What aromas arrive? Notice the sounds coming into your ears, the whole head, and all of the sensory organs in the head, giving you information. There is no need to categorize this information. There's no need to label it. Just observe. What do you hear? What do you see? What do you smell? Notice the tongue on the roof of your mouth. If it is on the roof of the mouth, let it drop away. Allow the space in the roof of your mouth to be a cathedral, the temple of your head, the vaulted ceiling. Notice your teeth. Notice the taste on your tongue. Notice the jawbone, left and right, the center of the jaw, the chin, the upper lip and the lower lip, both lips. Notice your nose, the tip of your nose, both nostrils, the bridge of your nose, the breath in the nose. Notice your cheeks, the right cheek and the left cheek. Notice your eyelids, the bottom eyelid, the top eyelid, the eyelashes, the eyebrows, the orbits of your eyes, the eyes themselves. Notice your whole head and your whole face, your ears, the scalp. Notice your throat, the pit of the throat, the tops of your shoulders, the upper arms. Notice your heart center, the lungs and the heart inside the rib cage, the pericardium, the house of your heart. Notice the lungs expanding on the inhale. Notice the lungs deflating on the exhale, and the rib cage inflating and deflating, spreading away from the spinal column on the breath in, coming back towards the spinal column on the breath out. Notice your diaphragm at the top of the rib cage, the bottom of the rib cage rather. Notice the inhale action, breath, moving the diaphragm downwards towards the belly, and the exhale, raising the diaphragm up into the rib cage. Notice your belly, the whole belly. Notice your navel, your belly button. Notice the rise and fall of your belly button on the breath. Notice your left hip bone and your right hip bone, the arms, the elbows and the forearms, the hip bones, the pubic bone. Notice the hands, the right hand and the left hand, the back of the right hand, the palm of the right hand, the left hand, the back of the left hand, the palm of the left hand, the right fingers, the right thumb, forefinger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky, the whole right hand. Notice your left hand, the fingers of the left hand, the left thumb, forefinger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky. Notice the entire left hand. Notice the thighs, the tops of the thighs, the upper legs. Notice your kneecaps and your shins, the tops of the ankles, and the tops of both feet, the right foot and the left foot. Notice the toes of the right foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, pinky toe. Notice the sole of the right foot. Notice your entire right foot. Shift your awareness now to the left foot, the top of the left foot, the left ankle, the toes of the left foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, pinky toe, the sole of the left foot, the entire left foot. Notice the entire left side of the body, the left side of the body, the left side. Notice the entire right side of the body, the right side of the body, the right side of the body. Notice the entire front of your body, your face, all the way down to the tops of your feet, the crown of the head, the soles of the feet, the backs of your hands, the palms of your hands, the whole body. Notice your whole body at rest. Be dear and gentle to your whole body at rest. Gratitude for the earth itself and the body that rests and breathes in this space of grace and peace that you have cultivated with your breathing awareness and rest. Bring into your mind and allow it to crystallize the words of your intention, your deepest heart's desire, the sankalpa, and repeat this to yourself 3 times. Offering you this sankalpa, may all hearts heal. May all hearts heal. May all hearts heal. In your third eye, in your mind's eye, see your body at rest. On earth, green grass, fields of flowers surrounding you, blue sky above, trees in the distance, green leaves, white flowers, big white fluffy clouds floating above in the bright blue sky, noonday sun, bright and shining, sunflowers and tulips, tiger lilies, daisies, clover, lion's mane, hollyhocks, snapdragons, tulips, fields of endless flowers, prairies beyond, wheat, barley, all of the grains, cornfields, sugar cane, deep forest beyond, jungles, northern forests, southern jungles, moss, palm trees, mountains climbing to the sky, snow-capped and purple, the deepest, darkest green valleys and shadows, rivers running through the valleys, waterfalls, rapids, waterfalls, rivers to the streams, to the estuary, to the vast, deep blue and black oceans, and all of the creatures in the sea, and all of the creatures upon the earth, and all of the birds and the insects in the air, and you resting upon earth, safe, blessed, protected, at rest. Savasana. Welcome back. Allow your mind to bring back your sankalpa and repeat it to yourself again. Notice yourself resting. And notice how you feel in this moment. Physically, how does your body feel? What thoughts come and go? Feelings, emotions, and know that you are bigger, whole, and more complete than any. Send yourself gratitude today. Stretch. Bring yourself around to a seat. And let's close with this brief meditation, bringing our palms to the earth from which we rise, and then our fingers towards the stars of which we are made, and then our hands out to each other to whom we belong, and then together to offer peace. Thank you. Live long and prosper, and may the force be with you. Jay and anybody else who is joining me over the internet, Christine, Leanne, Krizia, I am so glad that you are here. Whoever you are, I am so glad that you are here. Mom, thanks for being here with me in person today at our Center City Yoga Studio location. Go forth and enjoy a beautiful Friday. If you are a paid Patreon subscriber, you get a bonus restorative yoga session tomorrow from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. We're going to be broadcasting from right here on Google Meet. So please come and join us for that when you're practicing at home. Yes, Jay, 9:30 a.m. It's from 9:30 to 10:30. Did I say that correctly? I meant from 9:30 to 10:30 if I didn't say that correctly. Have with you, if you don't have a bolster, then be sure to get some couch cushions or some bed pillows. Also, I recommend if you don't have a yoga strap, bring either like a robe tie or a long belt. If you don't have a strap, no big deal. It's just going to make some of the postures that we're going to practice a little bit easier. And make sure that you have 2 of your cushions, whatever those are. I don't recommend a rope because those tend to be round, and we're going to be wrapping it underneath the body. Also, ropes, bondage, not so much. So I'd rather that you have something that's flat. But I feel you, Jay, totally. All right, my friends, have a most excellent Friday, and maybe I will see you tomorrow for the restorative yoga session. If not, then I will see you for our next session. Take good care of yourself.